Michael,
Yes, sir.
you're back.
I am back.
Back from vacation.
Back from vacation. And we're acting like we haven't had this conversation.
That's right. We're acting like we haven't had it. And that's the way we're going to do it. I saw you posted a picture of your awesome pizza. Deep dish Chicago style, baby.
Oh, it's so good.
No, seriously, it's good to have you back. I saw you at Stephen Ellison's party
It was
last
excellent.
night. If you don't know who Stephen Ellison is, convicted felon. Kidding. He's an amazing writer, producer, actor, and he was so gracious to host the White Elephant Party at his place yesterday. Guys, if you're listening or watching on YouTube, I guess you can only really see it if you're watching on YouTube. You'll notice our back wall here is kind of bare. I have a big announcement. We're getting a new studio here at Adobe Radio. Yes, in the new year, we will be in our brand new studio, and we're in the process of moving everything, so you'll kind of see a little bare wall behind us. But be patient, because you're going to see some fancy schmancy studio work in January. It'll be awesome. I'm really excited also for our guest today, DEMANE Davis. She directed an episode of For the People this year, and I absolutely loved working with her. She was probably one of my favorite directors to work with of all time. She's a producer-director on Queen Sugar. Amazing human being, amazing artist. I got to talk with her a little bit on set, and I was like, I got to have you on the show. She's incredibly sincere, incredibly artistic, and just fun to be around. Amazing leader. Super excited to bring her on. And if you're a first-time listener for the show, and you're listening on Adobe Radio, the show continues on after the hour mark. So basically, Thursday at midnight, so Friday morning, early morning, you can listen to our complete episode with DEMANE on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and you can watch us on YouTube. So make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube and Apple Podcasts, and follow us on Spotify to get all of our full episodes and all the goodies, because we go on past the hour mark. Sometimes we go almost 2 hours, which is great, because sometimes it doesn't feel like that at all. Especially the Guys Night podcasts. Oh, man. I could do those for 4 hours straight.
Those are fun.
They are. We got to do one in January. Let's do it. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for DEMANE Davis. DEMANE, you have come so prepared.
I'm very prepared.
This is awesome.
I have lots of Post-its.
Oh, you're a Post-it person?
I love Post-its.
You showed me your director's book, if that's what you want to call it, when we were filming on set, and how organized it was.
Yeah. I'm old school, paper, pen situation, but everybody's doing that scriptation thing. You heard about this?
Yes.
Yeah. Tom Verica, super into it, telling people, I'm thinking he's getting 10% off on like future purchases or something. 'Cause he's pushing it hard.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
Classic Tom.
Classic Tom. So Tom.
I need to do the Post-its whenever I have scenes, like lines. I have to, highlight, and then I have to like color code the Post-its
Oh, okay.
to know what scenes I'm doing in what days, in what order to prep. That's something I learned filming.
Okay. And do you do, how does the color coding work for you?
Oh, it's like green, reddish, yellow, blue, and like an off purple for like Monday. Like first is green, and so whatever scenes like I'm doing first on Tuesday. It's kind of complicated now that I'm saying it out loud, but it makes sense in here.
Makes sense. That's all that matters.
Yeah,
makes sense to you.
And I've noticed for myself, I don't take notes anymore. I don't know why.
Oh.
As an actor, I'm like, okay, cool. It's like all in there.
Got it. That's
very
great.
weird.
Good for you.
I don't know. Is it maybe?
Yeah. Are you counting cards in Vegas yet? Because that's when you got to call me up.
Ooh. How is that illegal?
I don't know. You can do it with the power of your mind. Why is that illegal?
Exactly. Legislation.
Let's
do it.
Bring it on.
If I start coughing, by the way, I'm at the tail end of a sickness.
Me too.
Exactly. So I got to ask you, do you go the holistic route?
Yes.
Okay.
I do. So UMCA, you know UMCA? UMCKA. Right? Yeah.
Okay.
They make a whole bunch of stuff that you can take. Like, I took this powder, what's like having like Fun Dip pixie stick powder. It's delicious. I'm like,
Yeah.
whoa, this is being sick. I love it. It's the only thing that stopped me from having to take antibiotics once. Because I used to get strep a lot.
Yeah.
And as soon as you feel sick, you start taking these different kinds, and they have these things that like melt-aways, and they have cough syrup, and so I do all that. Then I chew fresh ginger. I got fresh ginger in my bag. Got a root. Anybody want to bite off some fresh ginger? You're very welcome.
Smart.
And then I do oregano oil, which I got reggae into a little bit, and he's I think he's into it now.
Did you talk to Jasmine about that
No.
as well?
No, about oregano oil?
Yeah, she raves on and on about it. I thought that's where you got it from, or you told her about it. Yeah.
No, I travel with it. I got some in my bag too. So
That's
if you
so
want some, it's gonna make you. If you've never had it before, it's pretty strong.
That's a joke in the show. I actually say that.
What?
Holy crap, I just remembered that.
What?
And for the people. I see people getting sick. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that, but it's too late.
Spoiler.
I go, anybody have oregano oil?
No way.
Yes.
That's awesome.
I just remembered that.
Wait, what episode?
I couldn't tell you. It's been a blur.
Crazy. Yeah, I'm sure it has. Congratulations on wrapping.
Thank you.
So excited. I'm so excited to see.
We saw the first 2 episodes.
You did.
It's engaging. It really is.
Yeah.
And usually with stuff I'm in, I'm like, okay, like I know what's going to happen. I am like in it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm so stoked for people to see this. March 7th.
March 7th. March 7th. It's going down. I'm going to live tweet the shit out of that show.
Yes.
I love live tweeting. Have you done it?
Yeah, it's kind of stressful though for me.
Is it?
Because I'm like, I want to favorite everybody. I want to appreciate everybody's support.
I go back the next day and do that.
Okay. Good move.
Yeah. You wake up early, you say, I'm going to do this for an hour, and then you just go, and it's great. And it's sad, too, because sometimes you miss the stuff, but they're so quick with the gifts. I'm so slow with the response gifts, and, people teach me. They're like, no, those little thing, if you click that thing, then you see that. But then I'm doing that, and then it's like, now it's a commercial. We're on, it's very, a lot is happening at once.
Yeah, you got to be on top of it.
You got to be on top.
I went through a period where all I would respond is in GIFs or pictures of me, which I still do to Michael and a lot of the podcast people, where it's just me going
That's great.
like this. And there's like a series of photos, I believe, Michael, that you have of me.
That I keep and I use as a response whenever he's like, "Oh, do you want to do? We're doing a show next week," and then I send him a picture of himself.
Yeah, I'm a silly goose.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I would like a series of products and services that you have rated with various your faces and thumbs up would be good, right?
I think that's maybe we should start doing that for the
Can
show.
you-
There we go.
Yeah. I mean, have some stickers printed out. And just like,
Go through the supermarket and just
I'm
start
like,
slapping.
oh, how awesome would that be? Like the new Banksy.
Right? I love him.
I love him so much.
When I was
Oh,
in,
that's great.
yeah, ridiculous. You know, on my trailer window for the longest time, there was like a life-size photo of my head going like this. So it's awesome because where our trailers were on the lot, the tours would go always right by it.
Yeah.
And so sometimes I'd watch the tours go by and the people like double take because they think it's
They think it's you.
Yeah, yeah, it's
Yeah,
funny.
Start waving. Oh, that's sweet.
I'm a silly goose a lot. What was I going to say to you? Oh, the holistic route for the thing. This time I went holistic and I took it was like 90% holistic and then 10% I took the Mucinex.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
I'll be honest with you though, ginger. I took ginger tablets
Yeah.
with turmeric.
Oh, never done that. Let me write that down.
Yeah, the turmeric helped the swelling that was in my sinuses.
Yes.
And I was just telling Michael, I overloaded. Whatever like the dose they recommended,
Yeah.
I was like, oh, cool, I'll do one more. And like 4 times a day, maybe 6 times a day. And I'm telling you, it lasted a week. Now it's about a full week, actually. And I feel much better.
That's
but
great.
I wasn't able to rest. Last 2 days of shooting. I was the sickest those 2 days. And it was my longest days on set. My last day for season 2. It was 16 hours.
And
I
you
was
did
just
it.
like, and
You
I was
knocked
like,
it out.
yeah, and it was like right here, and toward the end, I was acting drunk because like, I was just like, I'm so sick at this point. I don't
Like you
care.
can't-
Yeah, I don't care.
it's
Like whatever.
What are you gonna do?
They're like, are you sad? It's your last day. I'm like, honestly, I just want to go home.
I'm not even here.
I'm gonna do I'm saving all my energy for the take.
Right.
And I look like a psychopath because I'm like this. 1 second, they're like, rolling. A camera, B camera. And then you hit it, right? And then you just drop back out immediately. Yeah.
But you did it.
We did it.
You live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's so weird, like when you're sick, you ever get that feeling you're like, oh, this is going to be forever?
Yeah. And you're just not really sure. So I came down with a little something on for the people. And I just mentioned to Terry, and I said, I think I'm coming down with something. And I'd already, done my thing. And he just kind of looked at me, and then we talked, and he walked away. And then Brad, DEMANE, may I talk to you for a minute? Brad Jacoby. Yes. I hear you're not feeling well. So, well, I got it feels a little foggy, which is rare. And I got a kind of a runny nose, and my glands are kind of swollen, but I took some stuff. You have that stuff with you? Yeah, I do. All right, we're going to take you to the medic. I'm like, okay, great. 10 minutes later, Mary, DEMANE, may I talk to you for a minute? Yes? I hear you're not feeling well. Yeah? Okay, we're going to take you to the medic, and then Tom's going to come, and he's going to direct the rest of your episode. You go home and you go to bed. Don't be a hero. You got a big day tomorrow. I was like, okay, well, maybe I don't want to, But then they walked me over to the medic, which is wonderful. I'm so taken care of. And then I was fine. I didn't have a fever. That was my thing. I was like, if I got a fever, then something's up. I didn't have a fever. And then she was like, we're going to have a doctor come in. The doctor came in. I got a B12 shot, free B12 shot. What? And he said, have you ever been here for the Santa Ana winds? And I said, no. And he said, that's what it was. I felt pressure from the barometric pressure, and I felt foggy, and my nose ran. And then the next day, Heather, script supervisor, looked it up, and she was like, oh, the winds are going to be less today. I was fine that day. I was fine for the rest of the time.
Oh!
How crazy is that?
Humans, man.
Yeah, right?
Dude, it's nuts.
It's nuts. I was surprised.
There's something to say that as humans, sometimes you need to be really in touch with your nature self.
Totally. Yeah.
I just want to make sure level's okay. Everything's for sound. We're good.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
We're all right.
Cool.
Is something wrong?
No. Just sometimes the volume goes in and out. I just wanted to make sure. Maybe it's just the headphones.
Is it the tail end of your sickness? Maybe?
It might be like some mucus just covering up an ear or so.
Ew, mucus.
No, like for instance, birds. You know how they migrate and they just know.
Yes. They know what's up.
Dude, I don't know if it's like magnetic stuff where they're like sensitive to it or the pressure in the air. It's bonkers, man.
You see them animals run, you better run.
Oh, yeah.
Don't stay when the animals are leaving. That's every movie, but that's real life, too.
If you see a coyote and a deer running together.
Right.
Like, okay.
Right.
I'm following them.
That's right.
That's scary stuff.
Yeah. But they took such good care of me. I had such a great time. Such lovely people.
I got to ask you, not all film sets are like that, right? Or TV sets?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
No. I mean, I've done like 50, 60, 70 commercials. Sometimes you're there for an 8-hour, 10-hour day, and you got people with attitude. I'm like, man, we've been here for 2 hours, and there's all this attitude, and there's all these personalities and tensions, and to come in when you guys are just, it's a well-oiled machine. Everybody's like, it's all happening. Everyone's taken care of. Everyone's like peak performance, man. It's great.
Yeah, and something I love, and it's the bar. It's the standard. And I honestly don't think it's like going above at what your responsibility is. And I know it sounds crazy, but it gets me fired up when I see people come prepared. And like not just like regular prepared, but like uber prepared. Because that's my bar for stuff.
Yeah.
And then my pet peeve is when somebody doesn't come in prepared, like another actor or something. And all the series regulars and the majority of actors we've had on the show have come in like super prepared. I just love that. It just fires me up to bring in my best work. Like, I got to come in prepared because everybody else is coming in prepared.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I got to respect that process too.
Yeah. There you go.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
You have one of the best. Is it a real commercial? Your Meatloaf commercial I saw on your website.
What, the Meatloaf commercial? What's for Meatloaf? Oh, that's a real commercial. Yeah, that my friend and at the time her boyfriend filmed for the radio. Yeah, that was me. That's so funny. Oh God, I gotta take that down.
Can't take it down now.
Man.
I loved it. I was like, This is a great side to Maine. I never thought.
Oh yeah.
That's awesome. That was a while ago, right?
It was a very long time ago. The hair was a lot longer. I still have all those albums. I love vinyl.
Yeah.
That couch I do not have. That couch is gone.
Yeah.
It was like a Jennifer's Convertibles couch, pulled out into a bed, and I've
Fair.
graduated now to a better couch. I don't know. But yeah, that's so funny.
Yeah.
You've done your research.
A little bit. There's not a lot on you on the interwebs, which I kind of like.
Trying to keep it secrets.
Where are you from originally? I think we've talked about this.
Boston.
Boston. That's right. That's right.
Boston, Mass.
Boston, Mass.
Yeah, it's. I looked it up. It's 52 degrees there today because global warming. But which isn't happening, you guys. But yeah, no, it would usually be about like 20 there.
You have
So,
to, yeah. Sorry, you
least.
have to be so deluded not to believe that's happening. I've been out here for almost 10 years. It's gotten much warmer, and the season, like, summer goes way into like
Yeah.
November now.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
It's
okay,
wild.
this has happened in 9 years. Something's up.
Yeah.
How much self-awareness don't you have, or are you
Right.
just lying to yourself at this point?
Right.
Crazy.
Yeah,
Crazy
it's a
times.
little nuts.
Do you
So-
get... Sorry, go ahead.
No, where are you from? I think I asked you this before. But
Oklahoma, most of my life.
Oklahoma?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Where the wind goes sweeping down the plain.
Yeah, that's a fact.
When? When did you come here?
9.5 years ago.
Okay. Oh, who's that? Oh, it's a person.
Yeah, some Adobe
Oh, some
people. Yeah,
Oh,
I hope so. No,
no,
they are.
just,
They are.
The door's open. They're just going to steal equipment. It's Christmas. They're just going to shop.
They're just gonna shop.
That's good. No accent.
I got rid of that so quickly.
Does it ever come out?
No,
Never?
I was serving tables when I first moved out here, and I said y'all while serving. They're like, "Oh, you're not from here, are you?" I'm like, "Oh, that's gone. That's gone."
Y'all is nice, though.
I like it. It's nice, but
Yeah, but no.
I just like keep it. What's standard American dialect, whatever. Yeah, I don't know. I'm a weirdo. What was I gonna say? Oh, you're producing director on Queen Sugar from the first season.
No, I was producing director for the third season.
Okay, third
And
season.
now they're going into the fourth season.
Great.
Which I won't do. We don't know who the producing director is yet, but
Gotcha.
the showrunner is Anthony Sparks.
Awesome.
Yeah,
That must have been a great experience on that show.
it was amazing. It was like Ava asked me to do it. Ava DuVernay basically gave me my career, my life. She reached out to me on Twitter. I was following her, and then she started following me, and then she reached out to me on Twitter and asked, she was like, "Hey, sis," and I'm like, "Sis."
Yeah.
You're a real Renaissance woman. I was like, what? What's going on? And at the time, she asked if I had any scripts because she was putting together the writing room for the first season of Queen Sugar, and I had some episodic TV scripts, so I sent them along, and we kept in touch. And then her releasing company is Array, so she buys films from film festivals and releases them. And she was doing this thing called Array Day, where anyone on Twitter could ask a question for half an hour of the filmmakers that she had picked. So I had like the slot between like 10:30 and 11, and I did that for 2 years. In the second year, she was like, "Thanks so much for doing this for me," and I'm like, "Absolutely, like love." And she sent me a little yellow heart like a few days later, and I was like, "I want to respond." No, don't respond. Like, don't be greedy. Just wait. Leave it alone.
Yeah.
And then that's the day that Paul Garnes, who's the executive producer on Queen Sugar and Selma and Underground, called me up and was like, "Oh yeah, Ava called you. She wants you to direct 206." And that started my career. And I did directed 206 and 215. And then in August, she asked me to be producing director for season 3, which was ridiculous. Like a dream come true. The best job I've ever had or probably will ever have. It felt like sort of the culmination of all the things that I really love.
Right.
All came together. So I got to make comments on every script. I got to make comments on every cut. I got to sort of shepherd these new directors. She only hires female directors, and they've never directed TV before. So I got to shepherd them through this process. And then I got to be boots on the ground and sort of be responsible for the look of the show, be responsible to the writers. Sometimes they come out, sometimes they can't.
Right.
Make sure that everything is set up the way that it's supposed to go in terms of the goals of the show. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. I was in New Orleans for about 6 months. Probably did work like 18-hour days because you get home after a full 12, and then there are scripts or there's a cut or, you know, it was great. I've never been more fulfilled, really, other than directing and getting to, you know, like work with you and meet new people. But for that long stretch of time, to be with those people making that show and the themes of that show, you know, the themes of Queen Sugar and what they're talking about, so great and so necessary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, we talked about it a little bit before. I know Omar Dorsey from the show. Stand-up guy. Amazing
So
guy.
good.
Just for the people listening, he was on my previous podcast twice. I think he was on the first and the last episode I did with Actors Anonymous. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. We have some of those on our YouTube channel for Actors Anonymous. The iTunes, unfortunately, went away just because the studio who was running it, we lost those files. So they're gone in the ether, unfortunately. Yeah, a little bummer. But you can find most of them on our YouTube channel. So they're there. I think I have a hard drive somewhere. At some point, I'll upload them. Anyway, Omar was one of the first people I met when I moved out to LA. He was very kind to kind of mentor me and, you know, give me advice. And it was really cool. Like, whenever I booked my first series regular role for a pilot, like 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago now, I asked him, hey, what do you think? Because there was another pilot I might have been going out for or whatever. And it was really cool to hear him give me advice and kind of as my career goes on, kind of check in with him and stuff like that. So really stand-up guy. You showed me your Omar Dorsey impression, which I won't let you don't have to do on the show. But I was like, that's pretty spot on. Wow.
I love him. I love O.
You know, I worked with Kofi too on Awkward.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh.
And it's so cool to watch him do such great acting work now, which he did good acting work on Awkward. But I remember one instance where we've all been there as an actor. You can't get, he had a small speech and he couldn't get it. And he was like, I could see him as the actor just like upset with himself.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, he's really upset. Like he can't get it. And I was like, dude, it happens. It's fine. Don't worry. Like this happens sometimes. Yeah. Like you come in prepared usually. And this is just one of those instances where and you can watch him trying to work through it. And so it just makes my heart like warm seeing him on Queen Sugar just with all this, doing all this amazing work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I find that like a cool, like vignette of Kofi, which I haven't even actually talked to him in a while. And he invited me to his birthday party a while ago, which I went.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, a few years ago. A while ago.
Out here?
Yeah. So it was probably before Queen Sugar. Maybe it was during. I have no clue. Time is kind of a blur for me.
Time is a flat circle.
I have no clue. Flat circle.
That is the saying, yes.
Okay.
Is that the saying? Okay, yeah, I've not heard that. Yeah.
True detective.
True detective. Season 1.
Okay, so I'm curious to know, how do you handle, what's the word I'm looking for? I had it written down here. Oh, like, whenever you have a problem that happens on set, it's important to compartmentalize, right? How do you get to that point also? Because there's also problems that happen in people's lives. Do you feel like you can easily compartmentalize problems that you're faced with so that you're able to directly face them?
Yeah, because I think, you know, on set, everyone has a job and everyone's working towards a certain goal. So at that time, usually the problem is about how can we fix this so that we can, you know, still make our day.
Right.
Which is really important. So what I like to do is essentially, you know, go in and sometimes I'll just say, how can I help? And, or if I can see it from the outside and I'll be like, all right, if that means that if I change the shot and put it a little bit over here, then we don't have to see that, then let's just do that. What's that? You know what I mean? And then I'll check in with the producing director or the writer and be like, well, I'm just going to slide here, right? Because then we don't have to have this painted or move this thing. And everybody good? Okay, good. And then I'll go in and this is what we're going to do. And then sometimes, you know, for an actor, that might mean putting it in terms of the story. So it's about figuring out how that can work. Sometimes if there's a time crunch and you're, you know, very aware, you're astutely aware. So you might just be like, oh, do you need me to go here? And it's like, would you mind? Yeah, then I'll go there. Cool.
Yeah.
If it's something deeper, then I think it's still okay. How can we make the day, but then on the turnaround, let me go to that person and find out what's going on with that person. Or again, how can I help? How can I be of service here? What's happening with you? Or what's, the show that I worked on in Chicago, one of the crew members had some stuff going on with his daughter, and it wasn't like it was totally affecting him, but like you could just see it. Like I think I'm pretty good at sensing people's energy, so it's just kind of coming off him, and I'm like, hey, what's going on? And he just, started to pour this thing out. And so then it's just about listening. Like, how can you need someone to be there, which I would be there for that person no matter where we were. Do you know what I mean? Like, you need someone to listen, I'll listen to you. I'll make suggestions,
Yeah.
So it's just kind of doing that, and then he can feel a little bit better. And then every day I saw him after that. How's she doing? Just checking in. And she's doing really well now, which is great. But we're people. We bring all of our experiences and all of our stuff with us. We're not immune to, you get a text or a phone call or something's stuck in your craw and you can't let go of it. And that's process. That's going to come out in some particular way. And if you're not feeling well or not feeling healthy or something else is happening around you, it might come out in a way that seems like, now I'm mad at this person, or I'm going to strike out at that person, or I'm going to hold back, or I don't want to push the dolly, you know what I mean, or whatever it might be. So it's about sort of problem solving to figure that out. One thing that I learned from Queen Sugar, and I learned a lot of things, I'm really grateful for that experience, is I go right into confrontation. Like I'll see something happening and I'll walk right into it and I'll be like, okay, what's going on? How can I help? Or what if I did this? Would that solve this problem? Or how do we figure out, okay, well, why don't we do that now? And then we'll go into grace, and then we'll be finished with that. And then we'll come back, and after the turnaround, we'll do this. So it's just problem solving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, how do you get to that point? This mindset that you have, you know what I mean? Because I feel like there's a certain amount of maybe life events that have had to happen, or certain kind of practices that you do in your personal life that have kind of brought you to this place, because not everybody's naturally like that. Do you know what I mean? Like for me, for instance, I love extreme physical exercise. I need discipline. I need meditation. I need prayer time in order to get into that mindset and really focus on what's really important.
Yeah.
What do I want in my life? What are my goals? How do I get them? Is this necessary in my life? Nope. Cut it out.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I want to talk to you about discipline too, because you're very disciplined. I need more discipline.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I need more, like, I try to set up my day so I do something similar. I do a physical exercise. I didn't do it today, so I'm going to have to do it tonight. I have, like, my meditation time. I have what I call just like gratitude. I have a list of everyone that I just kind of surround in light, and I ask that they are healthy and that they are positive, and put positive things around them, and I say, and hopefully they can be prosperous, and then I just say everybody's name, and I just surround them in light, and I do that. I know my day feels better when I do that in the morning, when I take that time. And then a lot of times I'll think about what it is that I need to do, and I'll try to put a positive spin on it. I mean, it takes a while. It's when I have friends or family who say, well, this is going on, and I'll say, well, you should do this. I always go, I don't want to seem like it's nothing to think this way. It takes a long time. You have to train your brain. You have to just train your brain. I used to be and I think we may have talked about this, like I used to be a pessimist, because I thought, well, shit's not going to work out because nothing ever works out. So if my expectations are this low, it's great, because when it doesn't work out, I'm already down here. So I don't have that far to fall. But then you're always at a deficit, and you're always thinking negatively. And then when stuff doesn't work out, it becomes self-fulfilling, because you're like, I knew it wasn't going to work out. So suddenly nothing works out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You put yourself in that position where it can't. And it took me years of being like, oh, you know what? It doesn't cost anything for me to flip this scenario and be like, today's going to be great. I'm not going to be late. Why am I even thinking that?
Yeah.
That person's not going to be negative or not like this idea. Why am I thinking that? And then that can become a mantra. That can be like, people are going to be receptive to my ideas today, as opposed to no one's going to like what I'm doing. It sucks.
Yeah.
You flip it and you say it over and over again. And my belief is that you draw that to you. You draw that energy to you. But it takes a long time. It takes a long time.
It does.
Yeah.
I think you have to want that change too. It has to come internally. You can have all the external positive influences, but if you're not internally wanting to change, like really bad,
Yeah.
it's just not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. Yeah. And sometimes you have to hit rock bottom, and that saying is true. You know, sometimes you have to have an experience that's super bad, and then you're finally out, or you'll have a super bad experience and you'll pop up, and then you come down a little bit more, but then something else will happen, but you're sort of, but for me, I look at them as high water marks. So people who are down, I'll say, well, what other stuff happened to you? And they'll say, well, this, and I'm like, but you got through that. So you have to let that buoy you up a bit, because that bad thing happened, and look, you're here. You know what I mean?
Right. So
this is another bad thing. Like, you got this. You can do this. You accomplish that. You can accomplish this. Like, you just got to keep, you know? But it's you have to have that engine inside. You have to have that energy inside you. And I also think it helps if you have people around you that are not those people who are like, this is not going to work. I don't even know why you're doing it. Have pizza with me. You know, suddenly you're like having all the pizza, which is delicious. Pizza's delicious, but you shouldn't have all the pizza. I can't have all the pizza. It's bad.
Or those people who say, I just have bad luck, man. I've just bad luck. Just bad luck.
Right.
Those kind of people you just need to separate yourself from extremely.
Yeah. It's a Radiohead song. You do it to yourself. I told you about my friend I went to school with, right? Junior high, go to school with this girl who said, whenever I get around a cute guy, I trip and I fall on my face. And I went, that's ridiculous. 3 weeks, whatever later, walking down the street, two guys are coming towards us.
Yeah.
We're walking towards them. And I go, 2 and 2, here we go. You know, because they're both cute. And she goes, what? Poof! Lands on her face.
Wow.
And dudes are like, you know, we're like in Dorchester or something. Dudes are like, just keep walking, not helping us up or anything. I'm like, damn, it's rugged. And that's when I went, oh, she's doing that to herself.
Yeah.
That is a thing. You have implanted that in your head. And now you are tripping every time that you see a cute guy. So that means you can flip it, though. That's the good news. Because if you can bring that negativity to yourself, to create that situation, you can bring that positivity to yourself.
Yeah.
You just have to flip it. You have to train your brain to flip it every single time. Instead of being like, this is never going to happen, you have to be like, this is going to happen. And it costs nothing. People are like, well, why would you, it's Pollyanna-ish or whatever. I'm like, it doesn't cost anything to think that way. And I now feel better thinking that way.
Well, it's the easy path to think negatively.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
It's so easy to think of, well, that's not going to work, or I feel sorry for myself. And when I was younger, I used to like making up scenarios. I realized I was like making up scenarios to make myself feel sadder.
Yes.
And I'd like that feeling. I'm like,
yes.
And then at some point I was like, wait a minute, what am I doing here?
Yes.
Why do I like this feeling? Why does it feel good? It's a negative thing. Mm-hmm. And then and by the way, it wasn't just, okay, I'm going to stop doing that. No, I did that for a while. I'm like, God, I got to stop. Or I really have to stop it. And the thing that really counteracts that for me is like listing the things I'm thankful for.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
And realizing like certain people live in situations that they would die to have what I have.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's really disrespectful to what God has given me, what the universe has given me. Right. I really need to not do that right now. I need to count my blessings, get back on track. And a lot of times I've noticed it's always worse in our heads than what it really is.
Absolutely.
99.9% of the time.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah. So wait, did you know that you were an actor then when you were thinking of these? Because you realize that like that's being a storyteller and an actor as well. Like thinking about like a negative situation and making yourself feel sad. Did you know then? Like how old were you when you were doing that? I was young. Yeah.
I was young. It's like ridiculous things.
Yeah.
Like I've never shared this before. Like when I was like, elementary school, you imagine like my parents not loving me. And it's like the most ridiculous thing ever. Yeah. Like, because they love you. What are you doing? Like,
right.
It's just, it's so weird how like the human mind works.
Yeah.
A secret, I guess you would say, or a universal truth is actually better. I've heard this said by a lot of different people. Nobody's like more special than the other person, or
Yeah.
nobody really knows more than the other person. You know what I
Right.
mean? People are just learning from the other guy who knew. And, you know, you're kind of learning from other people who have learned from other people, who have
Yeah.
learned from other people, kind of changing it a little bit along the way.
Yep.
And whenever I used to look at like these actors, I'd look up to like Al Pacino, Tom Hardy. Those are the only two actors I could think of right now. For some reason, I'm horrible at this
They're
game.
the only ones around.
That's the
so
only
it's
ones
fine,
around.
that's fine.
Damn it. Oh my God, this is so embarrassing. Anyway, I'd look at them and be like, man, can I ever get to that level? What do they do? What do they have that I like? Can I get what they have, or is they born with it? And then I was like, no, it's just hard work. It's just that they're just practicing it, you know? And then I would actually parallel that to awesome fighters, like the best fighters. I started studying them and seeing like, okay, what are they doing different from all the other guys that they're just ripping apart in the ring? I'm like, okay, these guys are doing the same thing. It's just like work ethic, discipline, belief.
Yeah. Yeah. What kind of fighting are you talking about? Boxing or
Everything, but
UFC?
usually MMA, UFC
MMA?
stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
You into that? You can do that? You done it?
I've not done UFC. No.
Okay.
I've done Taekwondo and martial arts for a
Yeah.
good portion of my life, but like,
Yeah.
I love MMA so much because it's extreme problem solving with dire consequences.
Ugh.
That's the way Joe Rogan describes it. That's what it is. So
Yeah.
when I watch two good fighters,
Yeah.
I'm not seeing like two brutes fight it out.
Right.
If they're like at the top of their game, dude, I'm watching a intense chess match
Right.
with horrible consequences.
Right. Right. Yeah.
One of the last. Lomachenko. Can I tell you an acting secret?
Yeah.
That I got from my agent?
Yeah. Tell me.
He's a big boxing guy. And Lomachenko, he started off as a trained dancer. His
Yeah.
dad got him into ballet and dancing. So what he does to train for fights is going to blow your mind. One of the things he does. He'll have a big board. And on the board, he'll have like numbers, like 1 through 100 or whatever. And they'll be put randomly. Not only that, they'll be flipped backwards.
Okay.
Like the mirror image of the number.
Yeah.
And then he'll take like these tiny wooden blocks and he'll have to arrange them side by side really like accurately. So like one here, one here, one here, like an inch apart. And then he'll go, okay, I have to go from 100 to 90. You have to find, okay, 100, 99, 98, 97, 96. And then he'll go back and do this, do this, do this. So it's like the hand-eye coordination, working the brain to
Wow.
problem solve, to find, that's it. And when you watch him box, he like picks apart world-class athletes. Just makes them look like, what are you doing in the ring with this guy?
Yeah.
The way he moves, he's picking you up. He's like figuring you out in the moment.
Yeah. It's
And
incredible.
I'm like, ooh,
Yeah.
okay. How can I adopt that to acting? So Sunday class, which I've mentioned so many times on this podcast, with my really good friend. We'll talk acting, talk shop for about an hour. We'll talk life, spiritual stuff, and then we'll go into his little office space, and we'll give each other cold reading scenes, like cold scenes that we haven't even seen, like I haven't seen, or he hasn't seen, or maybe we both haven't seen, and we'll run them over and over and over again, and then we'll try them different ways. Like, I know this is not what the character is, but I'm gonna make him look like he's a douchebag just to see what happens.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Oh,
Yeah.
well, that was weird. I found something I didn't expect to find.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll try it like he's super nice. Well, can we try it like we're brothers? Cool. We never give each other feedback, like direction, excuse me.
Yeah.
We don't direct each other.
Yeah.
But we're super honest. When something doesn't work, we know. And I think this kind of class only works with somebody who's been acting for a long time. So then we'll keep doing it over and over and over and over and over again. And the memorization becomes a byproduct because we've done it so many times.
Right.
It's in our bones already by like the 10th time.
Yeah.
It's on our bones already. And we'll just keep running it. So when we go to like the callback, or like let's say we go to the audition, right, with casting. Casting's like, whoa, that was great. Well, I don't know, maybe, okay, yeah, let's do this. Cool, awesome, great. Callback comes along. We're not nervous whenever the director or the producer goes, hey, that was great. Can you mind train like this? Oh, yeah, I'll try it like that because I've been
I
doing
did
that
it
every
already.
Sunday morning.
Yeah, that's cool.
So when it's like you're in the ring and you're fighting, you're like, oh, this guy's going jab, jab, punch, up. Dude, I know what you're going to do before
Right.
you do it.
Right.
I got you. And we both started booking a lot more after that.
Really?
Yes.
And you just came up with that on your own? The
Yeah,
idea to
because
do
I'm
it
paralleling it with
what he's doing.
what fighters are doing.
From
Like
that to
yeah,
that.
to that.
Right.
Because I think there's universal truths in that. And
Yeah.
every Sunday morning, unless there's some crazy circumstance, traveling for family or whatever, we're doing it every Sunday. Tomorrow morning, we're doing it.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, I really, really like that. Discipline. That's what it takes
Yeah.
to, like, having somebody go, we're doing it every Sunday.
Right.
Because this is about our careers
Right.
in order to take care of our families.
Right.
There's the stakes.
Right. Yeah.
So that's what helps me with discipline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are the other things that you do? You hike every day, every morning.
Almost every It
Almost
looks
every
like I
morning.
hike
It
every
looks
morning.
like I mean, just got sunrises, man.
I know, that's-
Instagram's all sunrise.
You know why? Because I think your visual diet is so important.
Mm-hmm.
So when I want people to come to my page that's
Yeah.
permanent, I want them to feel like it's a new beginning
Yeah.
and a
that's nice.
motivational thing. On my stories, I'll be a silly goose,
Yeah.
silly Billy on there, doing my thing, being wacky, whatever. Because that's part of me too, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
But I want those to be permanent with, so when people come to the page, they get up, it's a new day. It's
That's
an uplifting thing, you know?
Yeah.
But the hikes help. It's very symbolic. I had really bad anxiety a few years ago. Worst time of my life. Waking up early was a victory. Putting my clothes on was a victory. Going to the mountain was a victory. And then hiking up it was a big victory. It's like, despite the circumstances, despite the anxiety,
Right.
I was like, fuck this. I'm not letting this take me down and not being able to take care of my family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you did it.
Doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
an ongoing battle. Yeah.
Congrats. But that's interesting. I have a thing where I call them little victories. And,
Mm-hmm.
you know, especially if someone is like, I want to write a script, but, you know, all I have is this idea and this outline, and it's never going to happen. And I'm like, you have the idea? That's a victory. You got an outline? That's a victory, dude. Like, you just have to work at it a little bit more each day and stop projecting to the end of why I've got to have this finished film. You know, you don't have the full script yet, but every step is a victory. So feel good about it and let that propel you forward.
Absolutely. You do the math. That's what David Goggins, he was on the Joe Rogan podcast. He just had this, you know who about
Is
him?
that the guy who does like the crazy, he does like, who's the guy? Was it Joe Rogan or someone else who went and lived with him for a while and then like made him get up at 6 a.m. and do all this stuff?
Oh!
Who's that dude?
That's Jocko Willink
Yes.
with, who I talk about all the time on this show. You know Jocko?
He's nuts.
Oh! Love him!
Yeah, that's crazy.
He every day, 4:30 a.m.
That's wild.
You talking
See,
about
that's
discipline?
That's,
His book,
I haven't read his book.
I got you the book,
Did
right?
you give me that book?
Yes.
No, that's his book?
That's his book with Leif Babin.
I've only read the first 2 pages, and
All
then
right.
I had to give it to
No,
a
no.
friend. All right.
No,
It's
do your
out-
thing.
It's out here. I'm gonna do. It's,
Do your thing. You're busy. I get it.
Okay, so that's good. All right. Full
That was
circle.
one of the books that talks about like extreme ownership, which I
Yeah.
love.
Yes, I love that phrase. That was great.
And there's a dichotomy that comes with it. You can't go one extreme. There's a balance to that extreme ownership as well. And they go into detail with that book. But David Goggins, despite his horrible circumstances, his father pimped his mother out. He beat her. He beat him. Despite all those things, and he's this very motivational, very positive, very hardworking man. Just an amazing human being. And I love that because it could have been so easy for him. By the way, he's failed so many times in the process and gotten back up. So hitting rock bottom for him, he's
Yeah.
like, rock bottom's home, but I keep
Right.
going,
Right.
going. And he's had every excuse not to be where he's at, but yet he is where he's at. You tell me that's not motivational?
Yeah.
I mean, that just, to me, that makes me like a little emotional because my dad had similar circumstances where he had a very tough upbringing. My dad's dad, my grandfather, very like generous man, but at the same time, very hard on my father. Very old school. Did not believe in education. Believed only in like physical labor, hard work. Dad had a tough upbringing. Despite my dad's circumstances, you know what he did one time? My grandfather took my dad out of school. Maybe he was like 6th grade or something like that. He said, "You're not going to school anymore. Come with me to the market." Took him to the market. Got him a bunch of sheep. Left him there with the guy. The guy drove him to like this. Oh, yeah. My dad said, "This is you're a sheep herder now. Like you're going to tend to the sheep." Took him out. The stranger took him out to this plot of land that my grandfather had bought. He said, "There you go." Dropped him off. My dad's with 6th grade with the sheep.
Come on.
Crying.
Ugh.
His dad's brother, my dad's uncle, found out what happened. Took him. There was a big family meeting, family argument.
Yeah, sure.
He's going to school. He's getting an education. You can't do this to him. After that, my dad's dad didn't support him with a single penny. My dad had to go sell milk on a bicycle before school and after school and study. And milk in the old days on a bicycle where you put those 2 huge cans. Despite all those, my dad makes it to America. He studies in Scotland, becomes an aircraft engineer, gets his private pilot license, come to America, all the struggle he had to go through in America, and now, like, the sons he raised. I mean, that to me is like, there's never an excuse for me to go, "My life's hard."
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, what?
Yeah.
Your life's hard, Wesam? Shut up.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Right.
So that to me, I love hearing stories like that because it's the most beautiful part about the human spirit. So inspiring. I want to share stories like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Am I too pumped up? I'm too caffeinated, I think.
No, this is great. This is awesome. That's inspiring, you know?
Yeah.
Like that's legend. That's a superhero origin story right there. You know? Like a real superhero.
Yeah.
Able to do that.
How do you deal with that? Do you ever feel like that, like the suffering that goes on in the world? Maybe I'm thinking way too deep right now, but it bears on me a lot to think about all the suffering that's going on.
Yeah, it's really tough. It's really difficult to not, when someone's like, you know, this coffee isn't hot enough and I'm going to send it back. And I'm just like, children are in cages. You know, like for real, you're complaining about coffee right now. Like, it's a gift. What we have is a gift. And I am constantly just thinking about ways to help those different organizations that are helping and you know, and also ways to like just send out light, figure out what I can do personally, and then give that time, but then not get so mired in it that it becomes, I mean, with everything happening, you could just not get out of bed. You just not get out of bed.
It's very depressing sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, I read this thing about a 9-year-old Guatemalan girl.
Yeah.
7.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Died of
custody.
dehydration.
Yep.
I just I retweeted that. Like, what?
Yeah. We did that. Like this, you know, and the apology that was given was unbelievable.
It wasn't an apology. They blame
I'm
the
sorry.
parents.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Regardless, like my worst enemy, and their child is
Right.
like, I need water.
Right.
Give the kid water.
Yeah.
Give the kid water. It's a child.
It's a baby. It's a baby.
You're not. No, that's not protocol. Like where is your humanity?
Yeah.
Where's your ethics in that moment? I'm not saying I'm a perfect person, but like that's just so extreme to me.
Yeah. It's unbelievable. The stuff that's happening is unbelievable right now. But we're banding together, which I think is good, and we're more informed than ever, which is also really good. And you know, we've got to push through. But that's definitely part of my motivation is thinking about something like that and being like, I have nothing to complain about. I have a wonderful life, and I'm going to give as much as I can because, holy shit, look at that, you know?
Yeah. Man, this podcast just got so down right now.
So down.
But that's
Yeah.
okay.
That's all right.
Sometimes life is like that, and it's
Yeah,
important to
it's-
talk about it.
Yeah, there's a lot of there's a lot of stuff that's going on, and it's tough to I feel like it's simultaneously like the most horrid time and the and for me personally, like the best time with what I'm getting to do with my life and my career. So it's tough. I would call myself an empath. I can't not see other people suffering or going through
Yeah.
just like on the way here, I'm just looking at all the tents and I'm like, should I go to REI and get a bunch of tents for people? Like this is...
That drives me up a wall that we see the problem just here in downtown Los Angeles,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You see all the people living on the street. By the way, where I do my class, we do it in Little Tokyo.
Mm-hmm.
And it's amazing to me how, like, one street will be fine,
Right.
like normal street,
Right.
and another street full of tents, people, homeless people suffering.
Yeah.
And then, we're going to build new luxury apartments, a
Yeah.
bunch of them around town because we don't have enough housing.
Yeah.
How corrupt are you guys? How much money is enough for you guys? It's obviously not. I don't know how to combat it. I'm not smart enough. I don't know where to start. Other than me being emperor and just,
That would be pretty awesome.
I'd have the czar of transportation, czar of whoever, like all the smartest,
Yeah.
actually intelligent people running things.
Yeah. That'd
Good,
be good.
decent people.
That'd be good. Would
Yeah.
you ever run for office?
Me?
Yeah.
No, they don't have an emperor position. So you know what? You realize how the system is really, really, it's corrupt.
Yeah.
Would you mind looking up Michael, the latest guest on the Joe Rogan Experience? Highly recommend this episode as well.
Yeah.
He is I'm going to say politician expert, but that's not it. He talks about how corrupt the system is and goes into just detail, but
Lawrence Lessig.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I was listening to that going, what?
Yeah.
How do you fix this?
What are we gonna do now?
He talks about it. I gotten halfway through it, but he starts talking about ways to start fixing it. Legislation, like you shouldn't have people like put ungodly amounts of money like controlling.
Yeah.
You know, there's controlling the I can't talk right now. Oh my gosh,
The voting.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
like
man,
Campaign finance reform.
campaign.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh my gosh, you actually work
Yeah.
for.
Look at you.
I did. I worked for a congressional candidate.
Oh, you did?
Kind of. So I worked for his name is Ron DiNicola. He's an entertainment attorney. I met him through my old boss, and I was kind of like his LA driver and / LA based assistant for the last 8 years. And so we got talking last year, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I'm thinking." Or I was like, "You should run for Congress," because he had run in the '90s, and I was like, "Yeah, if there's a time to do it, now is the time." And then they changed the maps in Pennsylvania, and they reunited his home district. So he decided to go for it, but he did not. He did not win. He lost by
Oh.
3. I'm going to say it's because he didn't use the ad that I wrote for him.
Okay. That's fair.
I had a really good ad.
What do you want to share the ad with us?
Sure,
Okay.
yeah. So he has a background as like a Marine boxing champion, and he is an entertainment attorney, but he worked for the employees of GE to get their pensions funded or whatever after they lost their jobs. So the idea is he walks into a old boxing studio or whatever, and he's in his suit. He takes off his suit and he's like talking about his background, like my father was an immigrant bricklayer from Italy, built his home with his own 2 hands, and I'm starting to go like for the biggest fight of my life, the fight for you. And he starts going at the speed bag, and he's like, I fought GE, I fought the special interests, I fought this, but like now I'm fighting for you. And then he walks up to the boxing ring, and there's this big hulking guy who looks like the guy who was going, he was running against. And then he goes, and he looks at the camera and he's like, now I'm gonna fight for you. And then the bell rings. stuff.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. Michael's a good writer.
That's really nice.
Yeah. Not just saying that.
Thank you.
Very talented writer. Yeah. I like it.
Unfortunately, he didn't use it, but
He
You
didn't use
should
it.
have used that.
That's why he lost.
Just enough to say.
I'll say it, but I don't care.
that's what I tell
Emperor
myself.
said it.
We Sam for Emperor 2020.
There you go.
So what are you doing nowadays?
Right now, I am prepping to direct an episode of How to Get Away with Murder.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Still in the Shondaland camp. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice in that land. I was in AVA land. Now I'm in Shondaland.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty fortunate. Pretty fortunate.
Do you think there's going to be a domain land someday?
Yeah, there is going to be a domain land. Yep.
It's awesome.
Yeah, that's for sure. Let's
Exciting.
Yeah. It's going to be great, and it's going to be like, you know, like free healthcare and like free baby care, and like you're going to have to volunteer. Everyone's going to have to volunteer like once a week, and you know, great food, organic. We're going to like get people to be more vegetarian, vegan. We'll probably have some sort of garden that people take turns, you know, like gardening. We'll pull food from there.
Love it.
Yeah, this is all just spitballing off the top
I
of
like
the
it.
dome, but this all seems pretty good. Yeah.
You seem very connected spiritually. Is there a specific spiritual practice you follow, or is it kind of just a little bit of everything, or just be a decent human being?
It's I think be a decent human being first, and then you know, my Nana had that do unto others needlepoint in the hallway, so I would look at that and be like, yeah, okay, yeah, that seems like a good thing. I read a lot of Khalil Gibran. I love Gibran, Lebanese poet who lives in Boston. He spent a lot of time living in Boston.
Wait, oh my gosh, he wrote
The Prophet.
yes,
Garden of the Prophet.
Yes,
Yeah, Sand and Foam.
The Prophet is one of the best books.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can consider it a book, a poem, or whatever, but
Yeah,
I mean,
I love him. Yeah.
you know what? In The Prophet, he talks about about marriage. There's like, it goes about life, about death, about marriage, and he goes into a little bit about it. And then marriage, he says, like, you and your partner should be like two oak trees, never to steal each other's shade, but your roots be connected. And I'm like, so beautiful.
It's so beautiful. Yeah, he has this one thing that I made a photocopy of, and I mounted it, and it was over my doorway, the jamb of my bedroom doorway, so I could see it when I woke up. And it said, I'm paraphrasing, but it said, when darkness is upon you, look unto it and say, this darkness is dawn not yet born. And just as dawn will be born, dawn shall be born unto me as even unto the hills.
Wow.
So that's like, it's temporary, right? Like the darkness is temporary. That's what we can't get mired in it and be like, this is the way it is, and it's always going to be this way forever and ever. We have to be like, this is temporary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I dig that a lot.
Yeah. He'll turn around. So I love him. What else? You know, Buddha's pretty dope.
Buddha's pretty dope.
Buddha's pretty dope.
Truth.
Krishnamurti, and who's Kuan Yin. I'm super into her. Bodhisattva, Compassion. You know, yeah. And I just have little things that I like say and do. I have usually travel with a little brass Ganesha and a little Buddha. And do an altar wherever I stay. So I'm at a hotel right now, and I'll have that. I might have I collect rocks, so I'll have some rocks that I like that I'll bring with me. And I'll have a photo of, you know, people who are with me who have moved on. So it'll be like my mom, my brother, this wonderful, wonderful, incredible person named Mike Toth, who ran Toth Advertising in Boston, who was just like such an incredible man. So yeah, and that's like my crew, you know, like my Nana, my Aunt Claudia, who's my godmother. Like, I like to think of it as those are the people who are rooting for me on the other side. And if I feel really down, I'll just be like, you know what? You know, somebody give me a little jolt, a little superpower. Or like usually the day before I shoot, I get really nervous. I'll ask my mother to work through me. And I said, can you be with me today? Can you work through me? And I'll also say, and if there's anything that you want me to do here on earth, I'll do it. I'll do that for you. So, and then she shows up all the time. So like today, driving on Normandy, which I've never been on Normandy, I look and I turn, and it says there's a bed and breakfast place called Mama. It says Mama Bed and Breakfast, and I'm like, there she is. Because why would I normally? I would never go down that street. I would never see that. It was like just outside of Koreatown. So there's signs everywhere. You just have to look for them. They're definitely signs.
Absolutely. I think I believe in cosmic timing.
Explain that to me.
Getting the right things at the right time. That's something I pray to God to a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I pray to always receive the right things at the right time, because that's, I think, critical. If you're not in the right headspace, mentally, spiritually, physically, for certain things, then you won't gain the benefits from those. And awareness is very key. That's why one of the reasons I hate being sick, because I can't exercise.
Yeah.
And I can't go pray where I like to pray and meditate on the mountain. And I know I can do it anywhere. It's just, I heard this wonderful story from my uncle about Alexander the Great, who I adore. Alexander came across this small town hidden in these mountains. And he was very, very like enamored with them, because he was like, these people are very unusual. They bury the dead right next to where they live. And their places of worship are very difficult to get to. And so, little backstory, usually when Alexander the Great was spreading the empire, he would offer like, hey, this is peace, like just be part of the empire. We're expanding. You get to keep all your religious beliefs, all your like your businesses, everything stays the same. You just pay a small tax, and then just somebody kind of looks over the city or whatever, and then that's it. Like you just keep going on daily life. That was like one of the options. And so he was just asking them questions, and the town was like, yeah, sure, that's fine. This is very like the modernized Wesam version of it. Like,
great.
yeah,
I'm
they
really
talk about it like
enjoying
that. And so he asked them finally, like, why do you bury the dead so close to you? Because usually they would bury them a little further away. He's like, oh, that's to always remind us that death is just around the corner. That death is always present, that it'll always be there. And he's like, that's very true. And then he's like, but why keep your places of worship, which you go to every day, so far away and hard to get to? And they're like, we have to earn our connection with the divine. And I was like, oh, I love that. And so whenever I would start hiking up, I'd be like, I'm earning this connection.
Yeah.
I'm earning this.
Yeah.
So whenever I do start meditating or do start praying, I go, dude, I just ran up a mountain. I better be focused right now, or else this time is wasted.
Right.
So that helps me tremendously get focused and present and kind of awareness. I forgot what we were talking about earlier. Sorry.
That's okay.
What were we talking about? Sorry. Oh gosh. Right before this. I'm gonna blame it on the sickness.
We were talking about like spirituality, and we were talking about
Yes. So
and you said
that's where
you said you didn't like being sick because
yeah, because that's where I go and I say I pray for the right things at the right time during that moment, and it helps me become aware. Like as soon as I'm done running the mountain for the rest of the day, I have this heightened sense of awareness of what I'm doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that keeps me, like if there's a sign or something pops up, I'm like, oh, okay, all right, I better steer away from that, or I better head towards that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But do you believe that like if something, there's also I think something to be said for thinking. If there's something that you wanted and then you didn't get it, then that just wasn't supposed to happen for you. It wasn't time. So it's sort of maybe that's a little bit of the opposite of cosmic timing. Like
No, it's the same thing though.
Yeah.
I think it's in the same, like, you weren't meant for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But it's not a negative thing.
No,
it's just like,
actually,
it's not your right.
There's a saying we have in my culture that says, like, be thankful for the things you don't get.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah,
Right.
It just opens up another door, or you learn something from it that will prep you for something else.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's very important.
Yeah.
Sometimes we think something's. We got to remember, we're humans. Our perspective on things are so narrow. We can only see through a keyhole of what life is in general. So whenever we're like, I didn't get that, we got to be like, all right, I can't see the grand scheme of things. Maybe that'll be a bad thing.
Yeah.
I'm just going to keep going.
Right.
Yeah. That's why stuff that's happened in the past is so hard for me to like pinpoint when it happened because I feel like I live so like presently and like 2 steps ahead.
Yeah, that's great.
That I'm just like, what's happened. We just got to keep moving forward.
Right. That's great. Do you keep a journal?
No.
Why not?
I don't know.
How can you, everything you said, you of all people not keep a journal?
I started keeping a dream journal for a while, but then that fell off.
All right.
This
Do you
one.
not like writing?
I don't know what, like, whenever I think of a journal, this happened to me today.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
It doesn't, I don't know, it doesn't resonate for me for some reason.
A journal.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right, because you said you're not even writing stuff down anymore.
Like notes. By the way, this is like the most notes I've typed up in a while. And look, it's the most ridiculous.
Yeah.
Speaking of notes, Chuck Palahniuk, I got to talk to you about that here in a little bit.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't write journal. Yeah.
So what about like just your voice? Like you record your fancy computer phone.
Yeah.
You could just do voice memo and you could say some things.
I could. I feel I get it out on the podcast though.
Okay.
Podcast is slightly selfish for me too.
Okay.
Yeah. It's helped me articulate my views better.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
That's good.
I'm getting better at it, I feel like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like talking about things with people now that are kind of uncomfortable.
Oh, you want to talk about Heather? That was the dirty girl.
Oh yeah.
Oh boy.
I was trying to be respectful though.
You had a wonderful way of just letting that like kind of like bounce and wash over you and then be like, okay. Because I was like, wow, how is he going to take? Because I was literally like getting ready, doing stuff. And then I'm like, what? Okay.
Here's the thing. She's a guest. And like all my guests, like something I was raised with, you don't disrespect somebody you invite.
Right. Totally agree.
This show is not about me trying to get views, me disrespecting somebody for the sake of disrespecting.
Yeah.
No, I got to respect people even if I disagree with them. And I got to do it in a tasteful and tactful way because that promotes good debate. Yeah. And then we can grow from there.
Right.
Even though my natural reaction, like, it's so funny. Like, if I'm with one of my guy friends who I'm like, or my brother, I don't know, I would have been like, what are you talking about, man? You're stupid. What are you talking? You know what I mean? But I would never say that to somebody because, especially a stranger. But I'm glad that wasn't you heard it. That actually made me feel good about this.
Yeah. No, first of all, I'm very curious about the podcast, about her thing.
Yeah.
I don't want to be on it. I do agree that yes, girls are dirty, but I was like, wow, that is very. But she's in a brave space where it's just like she can. But I completely agree with what she's saying about how women are taught to be raised a certain way, and you can't, cough or sneeze or like she was saying, dudes scratching their nether regions. It's
It's so funny to me because the stuff I experienced in my again perspective and what you've experienced is so different. So like if I'm talking with a man I just met and he starts scratching his ball or talking about how he takes, I'd be like, guy, what are you talking? Can you stop?
Yeah,
that's gross.
Yeah,
don't do that. I don't
we just
know you.
Met. I definitely don't shake my hand.
Yeah,
I'm not.
Yeah, so that's where I felt like it was hard for me from my life experience to connect with her on what she's experienced. Not to say what she's experienced is false either.
No. Just
because
you'd never.
Yeah, and I do get that. Yes, there is this kind of like broad generalization is like women, I don't know, don't fart, don't poop.
Yeah.
Don't talk about picking your nose. Don't talk about gross things. It's like, okay, yeah, but I think there's a time and place to everything. There's a balance, a dichotomy. Big words here.
$10 words.
And you know what? Who am I to say something to diminish that person's journey?
Oh yeah. No. And I didn't mean any of that at all. I just I was like, wow, he's taking this very well because me on the other end of it was like, what? Whoa, that's a podcast? Oh my God. Like, yeah, all that stuff is true and accurate, but whoa. And she's just dropping it like, yeah, and then this happened, that happened.
Yeah.
Like, but I have a lot of, I have friends who have daughters and, sons, and I'm very like, this is just kind of the way that I am. So I'm always like, I know the kids love talking about like farts and doo-doos and stuff, and it makes them laugh. And it makes me laugh. But, every once in a while I'll get that eyeball from a parent of like, we don't talk about that stuff. And I'm like, well, Auntie DEMANE talks about that stuff. So we're going to talk about some doo-doo right now because,
Doo-doo's doo-doo.
Doo-doo is doo-doo, man. Yeah. Sometimes you got to push it down in the shower. That's what she said.
Dude, there was something else. I just don't want to bring it up.
Yeah.
But she said something, and I was just like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sometimes happens when you're intimate with someone else. Well,
right.
I don't know. Yeah, I wasn't expecting this, but
it's been fun.
that's cool. We'll keep going. All right.
But it's good that that's out there. Now we know that that's out there.
That's fine, dude. And you know what? That's fine. And here's my thing with censorship. I'm curious to get your point of view on this. I get triggered. I don't like it when somebody tells me I can't do something. In a way where it's like, oh, you can't do that. There's something in me that goes, oh, I didn't know you control me. I didn't know you control me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I get really defensive, really snarky.
Yeah.
I get it. Some words were used extremely hateful, extremely negative, extremely in a time where it was dehumanizing. I'm not using those words. That's understandable.
Yeah.
I listen to a lot of comedians, and I listen to a lot of like unique storytellers. So it's like, okay, then how do we start distinguishing then from that, going from there, like what words are usable and for what time, for what situation, in what way? What do you think? Is there like a time and a place for everything, or is there certain words you think that like it's a tough subject?
It's a tough thing, man. I think that things that are hurtful are hurtful, and so it kind of comes back to intent. So I think that in context, then there are certain things that could be allowed. But there's also stuff in mixed company that's just that's disrespectful, that you wouldn't want to, you know what I mean, that shouldn't be discussed. I'm feeling really bad about talking about doo-doo with my kids' friends now.
Oh, come on. No. But yeah, I think it's, again, I think the easy answer is time and place, and depending on the company as well, and the intent. Yeah. But that leaves it so broad to like, you know what I mean? It's hard to then start like censor. I don't know.
Listen, not everything is for everyone. And as my mother would say, some stuff is just not my cup of tea. Which is just a wonderful, way to say, that's not for me. I'm not, interested in that. But I agree with you. I think it's it seems base, but it's time and place and intent.
Yeah. There's certain comedians, when they start joking about certain stuff, I'm like, oh, okay, I'll just fast forward through this bit. That's what I think is where I have the power. I gain my power back. Right. I don't feel, I'm like, oh, I just won't listen to that, or I won't promote that.
Sure. Yeah, you always have that power.
Yeah. I don't know. You definitely, we got some time. Oh, man.
What's that?
It's 11:44.
Is that a magic number?
No, it's gone by so quickly. We've been in here for an hour and 15 minutes.
We have? Oh, how long is the show?
It's unlimited, but
okay.
But we got time. We have some people coming in at noon, but they're cool. They'll wait. They'll wait for DEMANE. They'll wait. Anyway, that was my LKW, my little kid voice, little kid Wesam voice that I use. He wears a 3-piece suit. Anyway, yeah.
Is this an animated show?
Dude, oh my gosh!
That's it. Good.
No joke. I'm doing that. I have so many jokes with LKW.
Yeah, do a little animated show. Little kid in a 3-piece suit.
I like that. Thank you, Domain. You're a very nice person. He talks like this all the time. He loves animals. And he's super cool. He rides a little bicycle.
That's awesome.
He wants to be director because they're in charge all the time. And he does this with his head.
I'm excited to watch the show.
Chuck Palahniuk on the Joe Rogan Experience. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh! Speaking of censorship and words that you're not supposed to use or whatever, he was. You know who he is?
Fight Club, right?
Writer of Fight Club,
Yeah.
Survivor, Choked.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, the way he writes about the darkness of life. There's something about that just grabs me internally. He writes vivid detail so engagingly. I don't know if that's a word. He wrote Doomed and Damned, which is the story of a 12-year-old or 13-year-old girl who dies and her journey through hell.
Whoa.
And it's macabre, it's funny, it's dark, it's endearing, it's empowering for young women. It's at times absolutely weirdly, grotesquely sexual with other characters, and you're just like, what am I this is like Dante's Inferno in modern times in a way I never would have expected. And then, oh dude, I'm telling you, it's like bonkers what this guy writes. And he talks about in his writing group, he was writing stuff so dark and moving that they were like, we can't have you in this group anymore.
Wow.
Because it's affecting us too much.
Wow. Is this old or new, this book? The Doomed and Damned.
2011.
Okay,
Yeah,
so it's been a while.
The sequel came out in 2013.
I read it in a single sitting on an airplane
Wow.
from LA to Dubai. Couldn't stop reading it.
Huh.
I was like, this is a book.
Wow.
He tells a story on there, which I will not say on the podcast because I want to save it for him. Literally, I stopped what I was doing, and I just was staring at my phone, and you can hear Joe just being like, oh my gosh, this guy, I'm telling you, man, it's some of the best writing, some of the best stories of writers that aren't allowed to put their stuff out because publishers are like, no, nobody wants to read this. No, this is too dark. This is too dark.
All right, I'm going to look that up.
If you listen to that episode and it hits you in a way, hit me up.
Yeah.
I'm really curious.
Okay. I'm going to check that out.
Domain, you are awesome.
Thanks.
You're an awesome person.
Thanks. You are too.
I hope we get to work together again.
Yeah. It was fun.
It was.
That was great. That was good times.
It was.
It came out really beautifully. I can't wait for you to
Oh yeah, that's right. You get to see
it.
it because you're the director of the
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah. No, it came out really really well, and you were a lot of fun to play with and
Awesome.
work with, and such a great storyline. That was such a cool. I don't want to give any of it away, but
Yeah.
it was such a wonderful, thing.
Can't wait.
And
March.
the two of you had great chemistry together, as well.
Yeah. March 7th,
March
ABC.
7th. What are you doing next?
I have some stuff maybe.
Yeah.
But you never know in this business. I do the radio show every weekend. Coming back in January. No, we still got, if you're listening to this on the podcast or Spotify or watching on YouTube, we still got Karan Brar coming up with Sophie Reynolds, and that'll be the last one for 2018. And then we start back again in 2019 in the new studio. So that should be exciting.
New studio.
Yeah. And maybe LKW, the animated series. I think that'll be great.
So awesome.
I could write it.
Of course you can.
Boom. If
You got to
wanna
put him in it too.
Maybe.
Look at his face. He's got to, but he's never seen. It's just his voice.
Ooh.
I typically am.
Yeah,
Never seen.
see?
Development. If people want to find you on the interwebs, where can they find you?
DEMANEDAVIS.com.
Okay.
It's my website.
She's trying to stay off the grid, man.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm sort of off the. I used to turn my phone off at night so no one could reach me. I have an old timey landline, so if you know that number, then you know how to get to me.
323. No, I'm kidding. Could you imagine? No, I'd never do that. It's been a blast. Thank you, DEMANE.
Thank you so much.
And thank you
for having me
Thank
over.
you.
Of course, and thank you for the wonderful sticker.
Yay!
We'll have play some music to play out.
Yeah, I just want to say real quick, thank you to Adobe Radio. Thank you to you, Michael. Thank you to Nice Guy Digital. Thank you to all our subscribers. Thank you for your wonderful comments. Thank you to the fans supporting the show. Thank you to Steph Jula. What else?
Happy holidays.
Big time. Big time. Happy holidays. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Everybody, we out.